what I got from this book the most was hi ladies, this is a positive birth story. I want to encourage and inspire and talk about the positive birth movement, so keep watching till the end if you want to get some hints and tips and encouragement for your upcoming labour. Hello ladies, I hope you're keeping well. This video is for anybody who is expecting or who just had their baby and they're trying to so Kara's my second baby, and I wanted to come on and give a positive birth story. There's so many stories out there that are just pure sensationalism, pure like clickbait as well. And I know on my first daughter I found it very hard to scroll through and find positive birth stories, because a lot of them were very like shocking pictures and trigger warnings, because some women do get PTSD after labour. Not to scare anybody, but that's why I wanted to come on and give a lovely positive well-meaning birth video, because we had a great experience on my second girl. So I started labour, know what to expect as you can't. So even my birth plan and stuff was like it was handwritten on a piece of paper. I didn't even print it off or anything. So this time around I started labour at like 2 in the morning. It was pitch black, dark out. She was born springtime, and so it was like early in the morning, and I just woke up. Like, I didn't sleep well the night before, but I was kind of resting and sleeping. And the day before I was just walking. It was the actual due date, so we were ready, bags packed, everything in the car, because we were deciding on a hospital birth. So yeah, it was 2 in the morning, and I just knew the contractions were like a bit too strong to ignore, but there was big gaps in between. So I just said to my partner, go pack the car, put everything in, and I actually hopped into the shower. I wanted to freshen up, and the shower, the heat is meant to help. And then the contractions were getting stronger, so in between trying to get ready, so I was showering and coming out of the shower, and every so often I'd be like on the floor on my hands and knees trying to like I'd be like on the floor trying to work through a contraction, and then they would stop and I would start getting ready again and walk out to the car. Then I was at the car, I was like holding the side of the car going and they would pass. They would be like a couple of seconds, but they were getting more and more intense. So it was great, because it was the middle of the night, so that's like 2:30 a.m. We start driving to the hospital. It wasn't that far away, so it's just a straight run. It's a light. It was the middle of the night, because on my first daughter it was like rush hour traffic, so I was doing contractions in the middle of traffic on like a Friday afternoon at like, oh, it wasn't fun. So yeah, so we were in the car on our way in. Then I went to check in. Well, they rolled me in a wheelchair. Well, I kind of walked a little bit, and then they sat me down. And at reception, they were trying to like check me in, and yeah, that wasn't happening. So I would say a sentence or two, and next thing it would be like, whoop, contraction coming. I got a lot like back pain. I felt it in my back labour, they call it. So yeah, then I got rushed up in a wheelchair in the lift up to the delivery suite. I met my two midwives, and then they asked me, are you considering pain medication? My first labour, I didn't have any epidural. It was a natural labour, and this time around, I would never say never. In the heat of the moment, I was like, then the midwife, like, initially I said no, and then I was like really in the labour suite, it was like getting more and more intense, really sharp pain. It's the only way I can describe it. It was getting really sharp, really intense. I think the midwives knew this is it. She's dilated really far. It's going to be very, very soon. And I know I said I didn't want any, but maybe now I do. And the midwife was saying, she knew he wasn't going to be giving me any. So you surprise yourself in the moment what you ask for and what you want, and you just have to go with the flow, and you get into such a trance that it all seemed to happen very quickly. Then I was pushing actually for a good hour, so the contractions were quick, and it was such a relief when I think they call it transition, when you're about to push. I was reading up all about this transition phase. Last time I was very much reading about hypnobirthing and trying to do very much natural procedures, but you really just never know how labour will go. You can plan all you like, and you have to be flexible in your mindset. So that's why I came across this philosophy called the positive birth, or it's a movement. It's called the positive birth movement, and that's what it teaches. Well, that's what I got from the book was so it's this book by Millie Hill. So what I got from this book the most was how to be like that all women have a choice, and that labour is your body and your choice. Like sometimes I would suggest I wanted a home birth, and sometimes friends or family, I'd say keep your wishes to yourself, because a lot of people are shocked by the idea of a home birth. To them, they think it's dangerous. But if you do your research, and if you're low risk, they only let you do a home birth, planned home birth, if you are low risk pregnancy anyway. So yeah, I really love this book. So the last time, my first daughter is 5 years old, and with that pregnancy I kind of planned and read a little bit about labour, but I was a first time mother, so I didn't really fully understand. I also loved this movement because they would refer to contractions as surges, which is a good explanation for it. Or they would say, instead of pain relief and using this word pain, they would say like comfort measures. What really helped me was knowing and being really informed about the different stages of labour, knowing, okay, I've been through that one, okay, that's the beginning, now this is going to happen, now transition, knowing that the transition phase, because that's where you really hit, like, I wouldn't call it a low point, but that's where you really have to dig deep, and it's just that turning point, and knowing, okay, it can't last forever. Transition is where your contractions just about stop, they get to their absolute maximum, and then you are about to push. So knowing, because it's really scary, it can be really scary, especially as a first time mother, if you don't know about the transition phase, where you get this really surge, this strong surge of adrenaline. And if you've never had that before, if you've never done like 10 sports events, or you've never, like, when else would you have such an intense surge of adrenaline? Like, all the science, she speaks about all the science in here as well behind it. But yeah, it really just, I remember on my first daughter, I got a fright at that stage. You really feel like you're just begging, make it stop. But if I had just known to calm down, that's transition phase, you make it through that. It's it feels longer in real time than, but if you know what's happening in your body, that this means now you're about to push, which means you're really far along in labour. It's really encouraging. It's like, right, we're nearly there. The baby's coming out. They have to come out. They're on their way out, aren't they? So yeah, all the different phases. That was really, and then enjoy your tea and toast. Don't let anybody move you when you're having your tea and toast afterwards. That is like your golden time. Yeah, I think, also realizing that we have been so programmed, like everything you see on the TV, in movies, listening to other friends, like how many women speak about their positive, a good birth experience, a quick birth. They're more likely to talk about their dramatic birth, or it just looks better in the movie if, like, you know, she's screaming and shouting. Like, how do you handle pain, or how do you handle surges? You know, it might be, you might go really quiet. You don't know how your body reacts if you're first time mom. So don't believe all these movies and Hollywood. You have to really question what has been programmed in your mind. Like, women have been given birth for centuries, and now we have even more research, and so I think what really empowered me was the mindset, and then knowing the actual biology, the science behind each phase in labour. So I was like, okay, now I know what's happening. So I don't know if ignorance is bliss, but I preferred to personally know what's happening and know and be informed. Yes, isn't that right? And being informed was more empowering to me. So you guys have any more questions about labour, let me know. and I'll try and make a detailed video about that section. If you have a particular section that you want to know about, just comment below. The reason this book really helped as well was the way she described, she broke it down mathematically, how long each surge or contraction actually takes, and that you do get breaks in between, and how many, like, she basically broke it down. I don't know exactly, but I remember her the book saying like the max will be like, so people think contractions are like 4 or 5 minutes long, but it's like a real surge, literally. So the apex of the surge could be like 30 seconds. So if you think about it, this mathematical breakdown, it's like you can withstand that for 30 seconds. It's not painful, it's intense. That's all. It's like an overwhelming, it's a strong feeling. That's how I would describe it. But you do forget and you focus on your baby. And yeah, I like that the positive book, she also like, even so that breakdown, that like mathematical breakdown was really like, okay, yeah, I can do that, it's not that long. They have make you think that like you'd be, it's all these preconceived ideas basically that you need to challenge in your own mind. And they do that with the hypnobirthing philosophy as well. I just found hypnobirthing more, I found this system a lot more flexible and a lot more open, and I could personalize it to my style, and I did like that reassurance knowing I'm in a hospital as well. So prep and work on my mental state. That's where this book came in. Let me find you a quote. It's a whole positive birth movement is like, no matter your outcome, no matter your labor, or if you have to have a C-section or anything, you still are entitled and you still can have a positive experience. It's like looking back on your labor and remembering it fondly, well, as fondly as you can. So I'll just read this little section which describes really well. So she says, the author says, when I created the positive birth movement, I defined positive birth like this: women are where they want to be. Choices are informed, but reality, not fear. Choices are informed by reality, not fear. Women are listened to and treated with respect and dignity. Mothers are empowered and enriched. Memories are warm and proud. So I really like that it was no matter your choice, or no matter how the labor goes, that you have a good experience. Yeah, that real flexibility in your mindset. That you have to go with the flow and be prepared for that is really hard, because there's so many variables. That the main goal is just a healthy baby, but also that the mother is important, because I felt that now compared to my first daughter and compared to my second daughter. I know it's a big difference in post-labor, as in how I felt after and how I was able to cope with the sleepless nights and all that after. Was like the difference. A good labor sets you up as a woman, really does. So I had such a positive experience with my little girl Cara, that I really feel, I notice in her, she's a lot more settled baby, and I was a lot stronger in myself. Now that could have been that I was a second time mum, but I was a lot more comfortable in my body, and I felt like I was a lot more empowered to speak up and be like, I want this, I want that. Because in the book also they talk a lot about different research they've done into different labor positions, And even with that, this labour this time around, I was so empowered. I was telling the midwives and the medical team what I wanted. And you don't just naively or blindly go in there, yes, whatever you say, because I feel like their priorities are a healthy baby, which is yours as well, obviously, but you matter as well. Like, their priority is the baby, more than your comfort and your experience after. And I feel like you can have both, and I don't feel like it's selfish, because I think after labour I was a lot more attentive to her. I was a lot more I could do so much more. I was healthier in my mind. So a good labour helps, and you have a good baby, not true, Cara? Yes, a healthy baby, and it helps with breastfeeding and everything afterwards, and your energy levels. So I think you can have both. When I was past transition, I really felt that transition stage. It's such a relief that when the sharp contractions stopped, and then I was pushing for a bit now, and at the end they did get a little bit worried, but they just got me to move around. Oh, sorry, I was talking about the position. So she was talking about different labour positions in this book, and this time around I could really advocate for myself and say what I liked. So I chose one that was like leaning forward on the bed, and she speaks about the research behind it, how it, like, your pelvis alignment is much better, and your tailbone is like tucked away, basically is more room for the baby, and I felt a lot more comfortable. Still felt the pushing a lot, like in my back muscles and stuff, but definitely I think she progressed down the birth canal much quicker. So I'd highly recommend this position. Literally had my forearms up on the bed. Not the most aesthetically pleasing position, but because on my first labour I was lying back on the bed, and you feel very helpless, you feel very vulnerable. You just follow whatever the midwives say, because you're in such a trance, your mind frame is very different. I'm trying to see if she has a picture of the position I'm talking about. Basically forward facing, and so it opens all your pelvis. And then once you started crowning, I got really dehydrated. I was taking a lot of like air and gas, so I was going really loopy and I was saying silly things. It kind of helped. I don't know if I think it's more the breathing. I was getting confused with like the correct breathing in the air and the gas, and then trying to focus on, in this book she says a lot like different breathing tactics and breathing down. So I'll try link some other channels that I followed as well, from doulas, like a birth coach is a doula, and they really help. So they were speaking about a certain breathing technique to do during labour, to like release your muscles and let the baby naturally, let your body take over basically, and get into that real trance. But I was getting really, the gas, the air, it's making me really thirsty and really dehydrated. So that's one thing. Drink lots of water, or have somebody on standby with water, or tell your birth partner to give you lots of water. My partner was great, well prepped, and I did say don't go down there. He stayed at the top of the bed, which I would recommend as well. Then the midwives really helped, and if it's possible, I tried to bring them in my own, but in a hospital setting, you can just ask them. I was a lot more vocal about asking. So like, they gave me an ice pack for your face because I got really warm and hot. But then we were on my lower body, and my lower back, they put a heat pack, which I loved. So that was like relaxing the muscles, like using thermal therapy in the right places. Highly recommend that. I did all the research into these natural pain relief methods, like this thing called the comb, where you hold a comb, counter pressures and acupressure, and I was doing all that, and aromatherapy. I think it was clary sage, but you have to know what you're doing with aromatherapy oils. They have to be diluted on the skin. People get rashes and reactions, so look that up properly before you start. But clary sage oil is meant to help you dilate quicker. It's like a natural remedy, essential oil, like a plant extract. So I think, yeah, in the hospital they did, the reason we went to the hospital, not the home birth in the end, was I kind of realized that many of the things I wanted in the home birth setting, you can do in the hospital. And then I just had that reassurance of in the hospital, because my first daughter, I had an episiotomy, so I wanted to be in the hospital in case it would happen. So it didn't happen on my second, which is great, and I put that down to doing the correct position that they recommend in this book. And it just saved me so much time in recovery. So yeah, I just realized that the stuff that I wanted, they were able to do, like dim the lights, aromatherapy, thermal therapy, the certain positions, all those. I had like the comb with me for pain relief, and I didn't end up using it in the moment. Her labor was quite quick. I think I was pushing close to an hour. I think I went in at like 2:30, and she was born at, see, I should have done this video closer to when she was born. She's 4 months old now, so I should have done it. That was all fresh in my mind. But anyway, 3 a.m. What time? It's so nice. And she did like that lovely the breast crawl. So it's like this natural instinct that the babies have. They laid her on top of me, and she like crawled up and was mooching to nurse. So that was really, really special. And then we had they gave us some time to do the cutting of the cord. We kept saying like delay that as much as possible, and yeah. So my first daughter, I did like a lot like hypnobirthing, and I did acupressure and acupuncture, and a lot of these, like especially hypnobirthing. I agree with it in principle, but you have to go with what suits you as a person. So I really like that approach of that positive birth movement, and I would recommend that again. And I hope that explained it well. Let me know if you want more detailed information. I wish you all the best in your labour. Women have been doing it for centuries. That's what we need to remind ourselves. And it's not, you're not sick or a medical procedure. It's a natural, your body just takes over. Your body's well able to do it. It was built for it. Those are the kind of affirmations I kept saying to myself. I had a playlist of meditations. Guided relaxation and affirmations, all to do with labor, which were really I'd recommend as well, because you go in just feeling really empowered and really strong in your body. Did lots of walking. At the very end I was drinking lots of pineapple juice. They say puts you into labor. Hydration is a big thing. I think if your body's really hydrated and really healthy, I think that would assist with labour. And then to drink lots of water during labour, to show that labour doesn't need to be this sensationalized, painful experience. It's like a couple of hours, or for some people, yes, I know it's 2-3 days, but then you have your baby. Labour, it's intense and it's sharp, but you're also strong and you're also built for it. That was my main takeaway from my labour. It's very empowering. You're like, once you've gone through labour, you feel like you can do anything as a woman. I would recommend rest after. Rest. Somewhat lap up any help you can get. Ask for more help than you think you need. And I wish you all the best in your own labour, and believe in yourself. Look up positive birth stories. Encourage yourself, surround yourself. If you're expecting, surround yourself with like-minded people, positive people. Just turn away and say, don't listen. Put your blinkers on. Don't listen to any kind of scary stories. Don't let people tell you what to do either. And yeah, go in and educate yourself, inform yourself. Look up lots of advice from doulas or other positive stories. So take care, and I wish you a positive birth experience. Thank you for watching. Bye bye. So once again, congratulations, and wishing you the best labour possible, and enjoy your baby once they are born.
say hello? 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 Hello?